I also want to just let you know some of the things that we have done so you could kind of catch up. So we have the Freeport campus now with dorms. The dorms host over 100 students. They have a meal plan there. They have a gym. It's very nice. We also have the new campus that's coming up where we want to host over 1,000 students in it and create what we see abroad as the freshman experience. You're housed there for maybe a semester or two, integrated into the university life. You're branded, basically. You get the concept and you kind of step away from your parents. We're in a different culture and most people are living, trust me, going to COB ain't like going away. On Sunday, you got to go to church. Now, when I was away, I went to Brock University. When I was away on Sunday, I did this thing that was different. I slept. I actually relaxed.
I actually went to church when I went away.
You know what? Kudos to you. Jesus points all the way. But for me,
thank you.
I slept for the first time on a Sunday.
A local dorm would give you the license not to go to church on Sunday, is what you're saying.
My pastor's probably looking at me right
Yeah, them come
I taught this young man better. He know he's going to Transcreation Baptist Church. Shout out to Reverend Thompson.
There were actually dorms in my days.
Them dorms, when I come, that was a struggle. I talking about hopping fence, little kids coming in and teaching your clothes off the line, but I ain't going to talk about that. I have a next show with a young man, Adrian Walgoose. He was the residential assistant back then on campus. So he actually is going to expand on dorm life. But let's hear what you have to say. I don't want this show to end without hearing fully what you have to say. And then let's just call it a show.
Yeah, well, see, we believe that tertiary level education is very important, not just for young students coming out of high school, but for the average Bahamian, right? Whatever you can do, and we feel this way also about healthcare, that regressive taxes like value-added tax should not be applied to these particular aspects of our
sort of like
society.
how you don't get taxed for corned beef.
Well, it's a corned beef. That's a whole nother story for another day.
No, I mean, it's some when you go in the food store, you see the sign saying no VAT, no VAT. So this is something, I'm just trying to break it down simpler.
Yeah.
Education should be something where there shouldn't be any.
Education is essential.
Yeah.
Yes, right? Healthcare is an essential. Right now, we have VAT on insurance. We have VAT on healthcare services, and we have VAT on education services. That should not be the case.
Okay.
Right? It is expensive to get an education, but as you have rightly articulated, there's a vision, there's an end goal. And so persons can appreciate that. But from the government level, and you spoke about it, the fact that you have autonomy now, then we need to also be lobbying at the university level. And I think as an alumnus, I would be lobbying for the removal of these government taxes away. And I don't know if that's a trade-off for the subsidies that come from the government, but I also think that those subsidies should continue as well. Because the more persons, you see, you indicated that you were a bursary student. Our producer has indicated that she is a bursary student. I was not.
She's so quiet, man.
I was not a bursary student. I paid my fees out of my pocket myself, right? My parents paid my first tuition fees, and I got a job, and from then I continued to pay, right? And so I put myself in the position to be able to pay, but not everybody is going to have that
true.
experience.
And we have to look at everybody.
Yeah, I went through 12 years of public schooling, and a lot of the students I went to school with, my friends who were also honor roll and principal-list students, could not access the College of the Bahamas because it was too expensive.
Wow.
Right? And you have to take into consideration persons who are coming through the public system as well, because the culture shock for me when I got here was that most of the students that were here were former private school students.
Man,
and so
man.
that was yes, okay. So
Go
that
Sockers.
was so to pay the $600 we were paying for 5 courses was a dream for their parents, because that's less than what they were paying.
That's what
at
people
high
are saying
school.
now. They're saying, like,
Yes.
I think, I don't want to quote it because it's just a statement people are saying, but they're saying it's more expensive to go to QC, SOC, and
Correct.
St. Andrews than
That's
it
right.
is to come
Than
to
it is to come to
UB right now.
Yes. And
Like,
that's how it was back in my day.
Yeah.
But take into consideration the hundreds of honor roll and principal-list students coming out of the public system who never had to pay fees, who now have to be faced with these fees, and on top of that, the value-added tax.
This is a good show. The producer's mad. She's telling me to cut, but I run this. I want to go a step further and talk about what students may go through, especially how we have on the screen here. And she mentioned that she's thinking about switching a major. And these are some decisions that impact not only your scholarship, not only your finances, but your life.
Yes.
Because you may have come to the university thinking, okay, I'm going to be the best accountant in the world.
Correct.
Go to a few accounting
know?
classes and you just be like, you know what, I talk better than I count. Let me just go be a lawyer. Then you go to lawyer class and find this
know
read
that.
too much.
You know my
and you're just
story.
like, you know what, I need a shore job. I could teach the children. So, and this is something about the university. This is what I tell students. You're coming in, I feel the university, to me, and my explanation is that it's a capsule. You're put here for 4 years to learn faster, learn you, and learn better. And when you leave, that propelled knowledge of what's happening out there, looking at all the papers you have to write based on society, the interaction of your lecturer, it brings you into the workforce more equipped to advance faster. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They don't realize that about their degree. There's a woman who could be on nursing on the ward, and she just has experience maybe as a midwife. But then you're coming there with your bachelor's of science. You had to go through all these labs where you understand the practical of what she may know. Mind you, she may teach you a little thing or two, but you're now coming at a level where you can manage her because now you have the intellect and the capacity to fight with maybe the issues. So one I want to get from Ms. Green about how you're in this place of switching your major and then hearing about these fees. What if when you switch your major to bursary, be like, oh, you have to reapply? And then what if, let's put it in the next what if your GPA is below the standards and now you have to look at some finances? What decisions would you make right now as a student? And what options do you believe you have?
Well, my parents always taught me to like...
She have two.
You know.
Yay.
Well, my mom, my Grammy.
Oh, turn up. Hey, we got a next support of Grammys. There we go. Okay, so continue.
They always taught me how to save. So even if if I had to pay for my school fee, because I also am a part-time worker, I still save in case.
So you have like 2,500 right now. Wait.
No.
That's the reality that I think was hinted at earlier. We have financial aid as well. Like financial aid it gives you based on your need. That's what the financial aid does. It doesn't, and you still have to work on campus to contribute your hours. I understand that. But let me ask this, and we have a visionary in there. If I was a leader and I'm trying to do all these stuff and provisions to make sure people can get education, but they do not meet the qualification to get that education, I think you have to be equal with it. If I'm asking, let's say the government decides, okay, you make a 2.25, you can get a full education, ride for 4 years. Just keep up a 2.25. I believe if that was the standard and they let it be known, you should work hard. Like right now we're telling them, get a 2.5 inside high school, 2 semesters, and the University of the Bahamas is looking at you. We want you. We're telling you that now. So that means grade 11 and 12, what you should be doing? Keeping up your grades. But the reality is grade 11 and 12 is when you slunk, you have fun, you think about prom, and not everybody's pushed you like SOC. I think SOC made us take our BGCSEs. I don't want to misquote Miss Knowles, but I believe if you don't take your BGCSEs at SOC, you didn't receive your diploma. And any SOCers who watching, correct me if I'm wrong. But with these realities of a system that's just telling you to meet the bare requirement, you cannot get a degree. Well, actually you could. It's just going to be more expensive. But you should not be proud of getting a degree where you got a 1.8 all semesters. Well, and you possibly ain't passed the courses to complete your degree. You have to meet an international standard. And with the university aiming to get accreditation, which means that your degree would have more weight, you got to compete internationally. So yes, some people have to pay. Some people are doing what they must to get their education, but you're driven, you're determined to get it because you know the results of it. So with that determination, maintain the bare requirements. That's all I have to say.
Well, I think there are several things going on. First of all, I don't know, you're transferring from which course to which course?
Well, I signed up for finance with a foreign language, and I'm more interested in media journalism now.
That's why she's here.
Okay, and media journalism. See, I mean, I think a lot of what we're doing, and even in terms of bursaries, should be, and scholarships should be tying into the National Development Plan. I think there's a lot we can discuss, but we don't.
That is happening. No, that is happening.
Right?
I would encourage you to listen to a series called University Drive
Yes.
that we offer. The
Okay.
president speaks about it.
All right.
That's happening. I'm confident of my leaders behind the scene that is
Okay.
happening. Yeah.
Because then what you would do, that also incentivizes persons to that if you're going to switch a course, then you know that perhaps the bursaries and the scholarships are increased for those particular areas. Like in
Right.
our platform, we talked about increasing bursaries and scholarships for STEM courses, right?
Which is needed.
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics,
yes.
right? But there's other things going on there too when you talk about the minimum requirement for maintaining a bursary. I know I wasn't the benefit of a bursary here, but when I went to England and I was at the University of Buckingham, I was a bursary student. Now, there was never a requirement for me to maintain a particular
GPA.
grade level. Well, they don't do GPAs in England,
Oh, yeah,
so it's
my
either
apologies.
first, second, or third class. But the reality was, though, because the university itself worked to get different bursaries for different purposes. So if you were an international student, I had an international student bursary. So I just qualified because I was an international student from a Commonwealth country, right? Then there were persons, maybe they were going into a particular field. You get a bursary just because you were in that particular field, right? Now, at the end of the day, what you finish with, whether it was a first class, second class, or third class, that was on you, right? For us, we know as lawyers, a third class, we would have a more difficult time getting
Yeah.
into bar school. So we knew we had to be at
You
the
gotta be your
minimum
best, yeah.
second class and up. So that's up to the individual. And I think as long as you make it available to those persons, that's not to say that we shouldn't have standards and you shouldn't have requirements. But I also think that the university itself and private sector needs to partner with the university to be able to offer bursaries for different purposes and at different levels as well. Because you have to take the whole man into consideration. You talked about slunking in 11 and the 12th grade, and that's why I say that's a discussion for another day.
Yes, it is.
Because not everybody is going to go on the academic track,
Right.
right?
Hey, we do athletics. Give it up to Ken Money. He just broke a
The
national
athletics
record again.
program is
We're
flying.
growing.
I follow it, and from watching you
Go
on LinkedIn
Mingos!
as well.
Go
I'm telling you-
Mingos! Oh.
I'm telling you, I'm a true
Oh, my
alumnus,
goodness.
right? I know when you guys go up to the States and you play your basketball and everything. I pay
shake a shoulder,
attention
shake
to
a
all of
shoulder.
that.
Shake a shoulder.
Yes.
Shake a shoulder.
Yes,
All
I'm so happy. I'm glad to see
Yes.
where the university is going, and I think it can only get better from here. You know, but I think also apart from just the academics and the athletics, we look at the arts and other vocational and technical type of expertise as well too, where you won't focus so much on the 1.8, but you just focus on the product. You know, so those are other options.
And I want to add something as we come to a close that what this young lady inside her received, this young woman, I apologize, what she received was a blessing. To be able to have some kind of funding because of donations of alumni is a blessing. And we were proud though. We allowed her to come and speak to other people. So we want more opportunities like this. It's one idea I'm starting a foundation pretty soon where I just want to give a little of my paycheck every so often to create a Wayne Head Fund for any student who interested in art. I believe if more alumni come back and design something that fits their makeup or their needs to give back, eventually it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
Because let's say somebody wants to come and get a Jasmine scholarship for a nursing student who need an iPod. A Jasmine scholarship. You get an iPod and you get 2 semesters with a GPA. All I'm saying, like I said, the end point is this show is designed to bring alumni back. It's about growing together, helping our community, helping the university. This lady has stayed away from us for 20 years, children. She is back. She is back. Can we get a hand clap for that? She is back. You know,
And I've actually
definitely-
not stayed away. I've been watching, and it's funny. I have
Come out the
I have
games.
a Komalafe Foundation, but I really contribute toward primary education. But that's
Think
an
about us.
interesting-
Think about
yeah,
us. We have
definitely.
Mr. Mitchell. We have Elvado. We're all right above chapter 1.
Yes.
We're all stationed there. We're all propelling the university forward. Come check us out. Come take us. We have the affinity cards coming out soon, which allows discounts based on where you go. One of the first vendors we had was alumni.
If you're from the
If you're
part
from,
of the
you will get a
alumni,
card similar to when you
Okay.
had a student card. It'll
Yeah.
have your student number on it,
And you have
and
my
it comes
old
to
student
benefit.
number on it?
You know we got that.
Excellent.
Don't worry, we can find you now that I got your last name. You could be found. And definitely, I want to.
I actually have an alumni pin thanks to Davinia Blair. She sent me a pin.
Man, Miss
So she
Blair, you
knows.
know Miss Blair is a good alumnus too. But shout out to the whole team right now. Shout out to all alumni listening. This show is about us coming back. You can schedule a visit at any time on the page or in person. My number is very out there, but 436-1996,
Yes.
825-9390. This has been another episode of Creative Leadership. Let's continue to grow together. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.